I'm building the best KX500 ever, well, at least for me. I'm about halfway through. I got some really good tips for you. If you're building your own, we're gonna talk about some of the ups and downs. We have videos talking about why not to build an old bike like this, why it doesn't make financial sense, but I'm still doing it anyway, and there's many guys out there that are like me that are doing it also. In this video, we're gonna talk about how to make the KX450 front end work, KX450 rear wheel and brake, which we modified the swing arm. We're gonna talk about those things. We got modern forks. We got our shock fixed. We got all these types of things. We're gonna go over all that for you right now. Okay, so this bike started as a desert bike. We got some really good pictures. It's been about 8 months since this other footage you see right now. We got some footage from like 8 months ago where Spencer was in town and we went ahead and tore this thing down. I had another buddy helping us. I think Rich was helping us, and Chachi, the little dog, rescue dog, was brand new then, and he was just dying for attention. So you'll see him in a few shots. And it was during SMX we figured out, because we could see SMX playing on the TV and some of the video clips. The audio wasn't very great from this day of shooting, but we got some great shots of this bike. So we're gonna show you some time lapse of us tearing this thing down. You'll see the teardown. Now first, we're gonna talk a little bit about what this bike was. And it was a full desert bike. Rocket Rex Staten, he had a ton of these bikes through the 90s, actually late 80s, racing the desert, and he would modify these things pretty heavily. He had extra mounts for the extra mounts up here for a skid plate and a guard, and those are all been since cut off, welded up. So he had this bike, and you can see the big IMS tank, just the full desert look. And we even still have the seat. I haven't messed with the seat yet, so we still have that bit of nostalgia. Look, I was able to buy this bike from a guy up in the high desert, living close to where Rocket Rex did, and I bought it from him for a really good deal. His name's Mark Workman, so thanks to Mark. He probably could have got more money for it for sure, but he wanted to make sure that the bike had a really good outcome like this. So he's looking forward to seeing it come out. We got our subframe back from San Diego Powder Coating, radiators from ICW. I still have to do a little bit more straightening on the fins. That just takes time and patience. So ICW strengthened up our radiators already for us. The shock has already been rebuilt and hard anodized, because you have to do that to save these old shocks from Racetech. And look at this, we have modern preload springs on here. So we've been able to already do some of those types of things. The biggest thing was tearing this thing down and cleaning everything up. So as you can see in the videos, first thing we wanted to do is, when we tear these things down, is lay all the parts out, and we simply just get out there with a power washer and power wash everything off. So it's the easiest way we found. We spray some gunk on there and really get at it, clean everything up so that when the suspension's going into to Racetech, it's not a total mess and you're not dealing with really dirty, nasty stuff. And so that way you can get your engine on your bench and it's pretty clean before you tear it apart. Same thing with the frame. When the frame's gonna go to your welder or powder coater, they don't want a bunch of grease on there first. So you power wash all that stuff off, get in, blow it off, and then you can really assess everything. And as you can see, when we had everything laid out on the table, it looked pretty rough. And here's a bin here of the bolts that have been sitting for like 8 months. We're not gonna use a whole lot of these bolts. Since we're talking hardware, look at this. I did a bunch of the bolts in nickel. When I was doing my old Husky hardware, there's a plating shop and they charge like 150 bucks to do like pounds and pounds of this stuff. And we did have it vapor blasted. Terra Motorsports here in Menifee was able to blast a lot of the stuff for us first. So we did that, cleaned that up. So back to our teardown now. So we power washed everything off. And then after we tore it all down, which tearing down is pretty easy, but if you have a good system, you want to organize stuff into bins. Then we got on to tearing down the engine. As you can see, we got the engine right here, and I have it organized really well. I like to keep everything bagged. And actually, one of the things I did is all the pieces, I went over to Brad, his health's been kind of down for a while, but we went through and looked at everything in the transmission to make sure everything's good, and it is. So that's good news. I have a bunch of parts on order. When the motor was on the bench, we took the cylinder off, as you can see here, and right away I discovered that the KX500 was not enough power for Rocket Rex. For sure, across the desert. He wanted a big bore, so he had a huge piston in there, and as you can see, the cylinder and piston got damaged from a wrist pin bearing breaking. And so it damaged up the top of the piston and the cylinder, and we'd rather just have a stock bore cylinder. And so what we did was buy a whole nother cylinder and head setup, and actually got it from Rocket Rex, believe it or not. He had some parts left, and then Tom Morgan modified this head, put on this decomp for us, which is real. This is what we have on Donnie's bike. So we have a decomp on there, which works really good. People call us wimps for doing this, Spence. And then Tom modifies the cylinder. We don't want anything crazy, but he modifies the cylinder, does some porting in here, and has our decomp, and then the head's been modified as well. So that's what was our first step. When we learned that cylinder was damaged, as you can see, then it's like, okay, we either have to send the cylinder off or get a cylinder. So we still have the big bore cylinder. No idea what I'm gonna do with that. Once we got everything laid out, then it was time to start working on a parts list. Biggest thing was getting the frame over to KX Guru, my buddy, was gonna help us organize out. KX Guru makes a gusset kit. So we go around and we gusset up the frame, and they also have welded on peg mounts here. And then this is the peg mount for the other side that actually unbolts. So it'll bolt to the frame. This is a heavy duty one from a guy in England that KX Guru gets them from. So we're able to bolt that on. At the same time, we welded on tabs right here. As you can see, these little tabs for a skid plate. It had obnoxious ones we cut off. So we welded on our mounts. We have 4 6mm threaded holes, so like an 8mm head we could have on there. So we have our skid plate we're going to put on. We used a P3 skid plate for a gas that we cut up last time. So we'll work on that at the end. Not too far in the end, but at least we'll get our holes drilled before the engine goes in. The big news that people want to know about, that I get people that are into KX500 builds, is how do you put on this is a current KX250 450 triple clamp. How do you put this on your bike? Well, you have to run the stem off your KX500, okay? So that's the key right there, is you put the stem off the KX500. Now, this piece right here, this is the difference. And so we welded it onto the frame. He made us one backwards, and this is a stop. So it stops right here and stops right here. This piece is from Clayton Miller in Texas. It's called Trick Engineering. Makes these cool pieces. Now, if you don't want to mess with your frame and weld it onto your frame, you could actually simply he sells an aluminum piece that'll bolt to your triple clamp. It'll bolt right here, and you just drill it and tap it into your triple clamp, and then it'll stop at each spot, and you can that way you're just modifying your lower triple clamp. Since we were modifying our frame and welding on it anyway, I figured it just makes more sense to do it this way, the reverse way. Most people want to bolt it to the clamp because they don't want to have to go and weld and paint their frame again. So that's something to consider. Oh, and you have to have this right here, special little sleeve. Guys make their own, but the diameter here, so when this goes on, doesn't quite fit. So it's not that far off, but if you have this little sleeve right here, which Alex with KX Gurus made me up, boom, like this, and I'm gonna get a new washer from Works Connection, of course. But so now we're all set here. We can run big bars. We can run a fat bar on here with this kind of setup. After we had everything welded and gusseted from with our welding, then we actually took it to San Diego Powder Coating, who then sandblasted it again, because we sandblasted it once before welding, so you could see everything and get everything off of there. And then they sandblasted again and powder coat it. They do a good job of taping off a lot of the critical spots. And we chased every hole on here for thread to make sure all the sand is out, and blew it off really well. Man, that shock was so rough. That thing was blown out. I was really worried it wasn't going to be salvageable, but Racetech, they really do a good job of tackling these older bike builds. And so they got in there and were able to make a couple pieces they had to make to get this thing correct. They still need to do hard anodizing because that makes the inside thicker as well. It wasn't just for looks. We're riding this thing just on the track, so we weren't too concerned about having a steering stabilizer. We just wanted to keep it more full moto focused. So taking off the stem that holds to the steering stabilizer is the best way to go for us. Raptor makes these mounts here. And look at that. We're going to have a modern, wide, sharp foot peg right there. It's cutting my hand. There's a lot of things we did to the frame. One of them, the stock brake pedal comes out with a post. So we've actually cut that off and drilled and tapped a new hole for the brake pedal. So that way it can run the modern KX450 brake pedal on here. KX Guru has some cool linkage pieces here that are different lengths, dog bones, that will get set up on our linkage here. Yeah, I'm getting ready to put the swing arm on here and mock up and get the linkage all bolted up. We learned last time when we did Donnie's that it was a bit confusing on how it all did, so we did a good job of filming it all in advance. So a lot of times when we're tearing down bikes, I remind guys, you have a phone. Take photos and videos of how everything goes, and that's really helpful. Now, Spencer shot a good video of how all this went, so I'm going to actually look at that this week when I go to put the swing arm and linkage back together. Another thing that was fun, when I pulled the engine apart, they had this weight on the flywheel, which is cool, give it more weight, mass, that's fine, but they had screwed up the threads in here. So to get this off, I had to weld on this puller, and then I was able to pull it off, and now I sacrificed and lost a puller that's stuck to this flywheel that I'm not going to be able to use. Also, you see this? We have a V-Force reed cage. This is the version 3. Donnie's has the 2, I think, so he sucks. As we're talking about this, I have a huge parts list going on this, just for OEM parts of stuff I need to order from Rocky Mountain. It's quite a bit of little parts. I don't have the boot for here, and a lot of little pieces that will add up. Spec bolt is a huge help as far as we're able to get all the hardware at one place that all looks really nice, so we'll have all the hardware. Engine cases, those things came out really nice, you can see. So we got our engine cases are all really good to go. I'm getting all the bearings ordered in, and I'm going to get all the bearings pressed in soon. And when we vapor blasted these, we chased every threaded hole already and blew them out so that there's no problems with stripping out bolts. We've learned that the hard way. When guys leave vapor blast in the threaded holes, you can strip out a bolt real easy. So be cautious of that. Okay, what we got here is a Vintco crankshaft complete, but Tom Morgan has actually modified it and rebalanced it, so it's got a little bit better balance factor, so less vibrations. So we're able to use this crankshaft, and it should be really nice and have a lot less vibration. It's still going to vibrate. It's still a single cylinder 500, but it's going to take some of that vibration away. Okay, here's our modern brakes. We got these with our forks from MX Locker. We got the modern brakes, rear brake. This whole setup's going to go on. Now, I failed to mention that we're actually going to run the KX450 Master on the frame. So we'll talk about, we have some brand new lines, some streamline as well. So we'll have new hydraulic lines. On the frame, when it's modified, we actually had to put a new piece here to weld on to fit up the KX450 Master. That means we won't run over to the reservoir one. We probably could have cut this off, but maybe we'll just put a cool looking bolt there. I could put a little faux one or something right there, right? So Racetech's already dialed in our forks for us for the KX500, and that's what we did with Donnie's. These are 23 or so KX250F forks, and so these are all good to go. So we're getting really ready to assemble the chassis, but as you can see how much it takes to get to this point. So really fun so far. We've already packed the bearings on the swing arm. I'm going to show you what we do to the swing arm. Okay, so our KX500 swing arm has been modified here to allow for KX450 chain blocks. Also, this has been machined out as well. So that's how you fit in the KX450 rear axle. But the biggest part of the equation is this piece right here. So you have to cut off the stock one and then re-weld this in here. So this is a big commitment to get this piece made, machined, and welded into your swing arm. So KX Guru is able to help us with that. Again, even though it's a KX500 swing arm, it's all KX450 compatible. So now, and you can see it's polished, right? So it was pretty rough, as you can see in the old shots. It was pretty rough. Now here's what I do. Check out how polished that is. We go like this with some Scotch-Brite. And poor Geronimo, it just kills him that we take away his polish. Look how nice that looks, Spence. Isn't that cool? So that thing came out really nice. And that's why we just go ahead and polish it, and then we can put in a finish like that. We'll do that around the whole swing arm. Gives it that satin brush look. So much to do. We've packed all the bearings. We got these bearings packed. We're ready to start assembling this thing. I think our next video, we'll see. It'll probably be another 8 months. Spencer's shaking his head, yes. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's not that long. So we're going to see for our next video. The next video will probably be finished, and we'll be seeing some smoke in here brewing around as we start this thing up. So an immense amount of parts to order. Financial sense, it probably doesn't make sense. It's better to probably buy one from somebody that's done something like this and then lost their money. Just like buying a fixed up Camaro or whatever you want. So same kind of thing. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Email us your questions as you have them. And Feel free to give us some input on the KX500 if you guys like it or looking forward to seeing this finished project. It's going to be a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. See you guys next time. PB Blaster is that penetrant catalyst that really breaks loose those old stubborn bolts. Been around for years and years. We all know this thing, seen it all over the place. Well, now Blaster has a Blaster power line, products, aerosols to help us with our moto maintenance.